Y'all, first and foremost, give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his son Hamashiach, who some call Yahushua, Yeshua, Yehoshua, Yahusha, Yashayah. We mostly know as Jesus Christ. Got another video. I got another one coming after this too. So it's not. I'm not trying to just beat up on IUIC or try to just just getting big. But it's just some of the stuff that I have loaded up. And this is gonna be a quick video. But this was Bishop Nathanyel bringing out a video on who Esau is, and kind of goes with what we were just dealing with him and Ron Dalton. And if you haven't seen that video, go watch that video if it's still up. We'll see. But let me go ahead and run this thing. And so he found a source. He found a source in the Smith's dictionary. Let's look at it.
Bible. So I'm gonna start off in
salute to brother Dave bringing this out. Like, these apologists are watching every video y'all do, man. Every video y'all do. They own you.
Discuss the Edomites, and then I'm gonna go to the Israelites. I'm gonna start off with Esau first. When was this published? 1890. So this dictionary published in 1890. If y'all can get a copy, get it. Next.
I'm gonna tell you this too, man. Don't fall victim into. I done bought several books, and now I'm starting to read them. But I bought them for particular reasons, like Babylon, the Timbuktu, Destructions of a Black Race, the 13th Tribe, and several others. The Icons book, and the stuff ain't saying what I thought it was saying. Because I just listened to a brother tell me, hey, man, this is an old book and you need to get it. They're going to start producing it. And, look, they jacked the price up on it. I'm starting to believe, man, it might have been some of us jacking the darn price up. But, yeah, don't fall victim to this stuff, especially if they're not reading the whole thing. What you do before you buy that book, make sure whatever he's bringing out or she's bringing out that's telling you to buy this book, get this book, make sure what they're saying this book is saying, it says that. All right. So now he's telling you to buy this Smith dictionary, even with the Zondervan Bible. Us buying that because it says not the Negroes for Ham, but it don't say, the Negroes for Shem. Well, Shem is the Negroes. It don't say that. It don't say Japhet is the white people or Japhet is the Negroes. It's saying Ham is the dark races, but not the Negro. A Negro is a dark race, but he's not the Negro though. And I think that's connected to a racist thought, during slavery, and then them not want to connect us with those dark races that built Egypt. With that great civilization. No, these people could not have done that. I think that's a little part of it. But yeah. Have you looked up Jew in the Zondervan Bible? That'll blow your top, man. Pause. But look up what a Jew is in the Zondervan Bible, especially for those who think that the Northern Kingdom was who Paul went out to. Look up the word Jew.
Page. Now, when you look up Obadiah, there's a whole big thing on the book of Obadiah. Move over to the next highlighted section right there in that same page. Right there, read that. The Idumeans might, he argues, have joined the enemies of Judah on any of these occasions, as their intimate hostility from an early date is proved by several passages of scripture. Now jump down to the next highlighted section. Read that. The book of Obadiah.
Now you see how he's jumping down into these different categories, and well, not categories, but he got these different that he's highlighting. But you need to go read the whole thing before you just take what a brother says for word. Even if I'm saying it, go research it. It don't matter who's saying it. Go research it and really see what kind of people you dealing with.
is a sustained denunciation of the Edomites.
Right, so the scholars know Obadiah condemns the Edomites. That's what the whole book's about. Read.
Melting as is the wont of the Hebrew prophets.
Which ones?
Joel and
Amos.
Into a vision of the future glories of Zion, when the arm of the Lord should have wrought her deliverance and have repaid double upon her enemies.
All right, just go down. Lower. Yep.
The book of Obadiah is a favorite study of the modern Jews.
So the modern Jews are these Edomites that call themselves Jews. Right?
And why is this their favorite study?
It is here especially that they read the future fate of their own nation and of the Christians.
So that they know that they're the Edomites. Go ahead.
That ain't what that just said. It said they read their fate. What's going to happen? What's going to happen with them in that restoration that they're reading about in Obadiah? And what's going to happen to their enemies who are the Christians? And what's going to happen to the Christians?
Those unversed in their literature may wonder where the Christians are found in the book of Obadiah. But it is a fixed principle of rabbinical interpretation that by Edomites is prophetically meant Christians.
By Edomites, it means Christian. And if you just go onto my little tab or whatever, I don't know how to do it from the outside, and just look up Esau. Who is Esau? I just did a lesson a few months ago. We was reading out of the Jewish Encyclopedia, and we was looking at the baby. That's another book I bought, the baby names book, because you look up Edom. This woman says where there's some scholars that say that Edom is really for the Romans, and then these scholars he's talking about the rabbis, talking about the Talmud. That's how it's interpreted, because the Christians were the worst enemies to the Jews, and vice versa. Even the Christians have literature calling Jews Edomites.
And that by Edom is meant Rome.
And by Edom, they mean Rome. Why? Because they were first called Christians in Antioch, because of the Roman Catholic Church, because of the Eastern Orthodox Church, because this thing sprung out of Rome.
Thus,
let me go back, because y'all ain't get that. A lot of these problems came from Rome. A lot of this Christianity came from Rome. And y'all don't we know. Yes, it was, they were all Christians at first. Yes. But it was Rome who spread this thing and made it their national religion. And it made it where it's a legal religion for them to for one to practice.
That by Edomites is prophetically
Go back a little
of rabbinical interpretation that by
they know that they're the Edomites. Go ahead.
Those unversed
that didn't say that, but let's go.
in their literature may wonder where the Christians are found in the book of Obadiah.
They're like, if you ain't familiar with the Talmud and some of the rabbinic literature, then one gonna say, what do Christians have to do with the book of Obadiah? That's if you ain't familiar with it. But if you are familiar with it, you'll know that they think Christians are Edomites. If you believe in Christ, you are Edomites. They're enemies for the gospel's sake. Yeah, they God's chosen people, but for the gospel's sake, they are enemies.
But it is a fixed principle of rabbinical interpretation.
It's a fixed principle of rabbinic interpretation. It's solid, just as solid as we calling the white man Edom. It's a principle.
That by Edomites is prophetically meant Christians.
And this is where we got it from. We got it from the Talmud. They loved that old one. West loved some of that. They came out of it. You don't think that in the commandment keepers they were reading the Talmud?
And that by Edom is meant Rome.
All right, it's for the Christians, and by Edom meant Rome. Where Christianity come from? Then that ain't where it started from. Of course, it started, in Israel, but it blossomed out of Rome.
Thus, Kimchi on Obadiah lays it down that
Thus, Kimchi. Who is Kimchi?
all that the prophets have said about the destruction of Edom in the last times has reference to Rome.
Next page.
So Kimchi is telling you that everything that's in Obadiah that's referencing Edom is connected with Rome. Why? Because the rabbinic principle of interpretation with the Talmud is that Edom is Christianity. Edom is Christians.
Read that.
Joel, the 3rd chapter, verse 10 says that Julius Caesar.
No, you got to read what says kimchi.
Yes, sir. Kimchi
On Joel.
on Joel, the 3rd chapter, 10th verse.
So Kimchi was a scholar.
Kimchi, y'all look it up. Don't just let him tell you nothing. Look it up. I seen a Joseph Kimchi. I seen a Rabbi David Kimchi from medieval times. That's a Talmudic scholar in the Talmudic literature. And I know he know better. That's why you see some of the people I deal with, I know they know better. There's some people I don't do videos on because they probably don't know better. But you can't read this. You can't read that all of that Obadiah in that Smith's dictionary book. And if you go to Brother Dave, I don't know if that's on his YouTube or just his TikTok, but he goes into the article and just it's actually, I meant the actual dictionary and reads certain parts of other parts of it. It's just saying that what this rabbi is saying is foolishness. What this Kimchi brother is saying is absolute foolishness. But they gonna explain what he's saying. Why are you reading something from rabbinic scholars that deal with the topic? Why would you source that out? I don't get that. I don't understand that.
Says that Julius Caesar was an Idumean.
Mm-hmm. So the scholars know that Julius Caesar was an Idumean. Idumean are Edomites, right?
Similar reports the Jews, both those who are comparatively ancient.
Those comparatively ancient, that's meaning the black ones. Go ahead.
And those who are modern believe that Titus was an Edomite.
So Titus Caesar was an Edomite. Go ahead.
And when the prophets denounce Edom, they frequently refer it to Titus.
Right. Now, go to the next one. So Julius Caesar was an Edomite. Titus Caesar was an Edomite.
He just taking this just bad. Julius Caesar was an Edomite. Caesar was an Edomite.
Where's the next one? Was that it?
Titus.
All right, read that. I have
several times shown that from Edom proceeded the kings who reigned in Italy.
So they know the kings of Edom reigned in Italy. Go ahead.
And who built up Rome.
Who built up Rome.
To be great among the nations and chief among the provinces.
Watch this.
And in this way, Italy and Greece and all the western provinces.
The western provinces is Germany, France, all them areas over there. Go ahead.
Became
England. Go ahead.
Became filled with Idumeans.
So you mean to tell me the scholars don't know who the Edomites are? Go ahead.
Thus it is that the prophets called the whole of that nation by the name of Edom.
So you mean to tell me that the scholars who put this together don't know who the Edomites are?
And he just ignoring that he's reading. He's ignoring what he's reading. He's just ignoring, who wrote that. And like I say, you just go down to the thing. It's a plethora of information on this and why the little hats call Rome Edom.
You get Christians that go, oh, the Edomites.
Because Rome were their worst enemies. They were their biggest enemies. Just like Edom was their biggest enemies.
Done away with. Nobody. Oh, no. That's not what your scholars said. Your scholars know that.
Now let's dig into Smith's.
Like I said, he went into the Smith's Bible. But y'all go there and check that out. And you can see, you'll see a little more. I think that's enough, though. Just the fact of look up Rabbi David Kimchi. All right, look up Rabbi David Kimchi. I think it's Kimchi, and his thoughts on Edom and Rome. Yeah, David Kimchi. His thoughts on Rome. Was born in 1160. There's a couple of other Kimchis also. Name of a family of scholars in the Jewish Encyclopedia. So I don't know why you would glean that information. And well, I know why. I know why. That's what we were taught. But that's where it came from. It comes from the Talmud. All right, pray this thing was edifying. Y'all be blessed. Shalom.